It is now time for our scripture reading, and my scripture today is from the Lamsa translation of the Bible, Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 18 through 20. This is what I, the preacher, have seen. It is good and comely for one to eat and drink and to enjoy the good of all of his labor, for which he toils under the sun all the days of his life, which the Lord has given him. For this is his portion. To every man also the Lord has given riches and wealth, and has given power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor. For this is the gift of God. For he shall remember no more the days of his life, because God will keep him busy with the joy in his heart. Thus ends the reading of our scripture, Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 18 through 20. Again, I say good morning and welcome. The preparations have begun for our Thanksgiving holiday, which is only a little more than a week away. Families will be traveling near and far to spend it with those they love. Some of us may be looking forward to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, sweet potato pie, and football. And others, the aroma of sage stuffing and the turkey roasting in the oven. This is an occasion to gather together with those we love in the warmth of our homes and to enjoy and share the fruits of our labors. It is also a time of inward reflection to focus on all that we have to be grateful for. The smell of fall is in the air, and winter is resting on its heels, with the brisk nights returning this week. The crops have been harvested, and the last leaves are falling from the trees. Hues of orange, gold, and red have painted the skyline the past several weeks, and now all that remains are a few leaves on the ground. The earth is transitioning from a time of planting and harvesting to a time for resting. We follow the same cycle, and now we too begin to rest and turn inward. Just listen. You can hear the whisper of Mother Earth taking a deep sigh as she marvels in the glory of the abundant harvest and begins this new cycle in the solitude of winter. All that remains to be done now is for us to enjoy what we've created and to share in our abundance. As the pilgrims of long ago celebrated the harvest with a table filled with luscious, mouth-watering foods, many decades later, we continue to follow the same tradition, gathering with friends, family, and neighbors. In the days of old, they would walk to the magnificent feast, proudly carrying a basket full of freshly baked breads and cranberry sauces, sharing what they created from their heart. Today, friends and family travel by plane, train, or automobile to gather with us on this special day. We travel the miles to share in the warmth of our hearts and our homes. And like the pilgrims long ago, we share stories of the year gone by, our struggles, our triumphs, and yes, our blessings. If you take the word and break it into two separate words, it says it all: thanks and giving. We give thanks for the infinite abundance, not only physically, but also spiritually. We give thanks for the lessons, some of which have not been so easy, but yet they made us stronger. We give thanks that we have been provided with all we need to create our own happiness, a clear mind to envision our dreams and desires, and a healthy physical body to manifest our goals. There is so much to be thankful for. And while we may enjoy the turkey and the stuffing and the sweet potato pie, there is a much deeper meaning to this tradition. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 2, Scripture states, "For everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under the sun, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. There was the time to grow, and now is the time to enjoy." We look back upon the year and we reflect on our gains, the new job, the new house, perhaps new friendships and relationships. After completing the harvest, now we pause to acknowledge and give thanks for all the fruits of our labors. And we give thanks to God, the source of all of this great abundance. When we recognize and acknowledge our gratitude, our abundance multiplies endlessly. You see, there is no limit when God is our source. When we are open and receptive to the abundance of God, what are we doing? We are looking for it. We are expecting this abundance to materialize in our life. And what happens? When we are expecting it, it materializes. On the other hand, if we have an attitude of lack, and when we think, or should I say, when we believe that good things will not happen to us, well, guess what? Good things may be happening all around us, but we won't accept them because we don't see them. You see, if we don't believe they exist, how can we acknowledge them? That's why gratitude and acknowledgement is so important, becoming aware that they are there because they're there all the time. Makes sense, doesn't it? If the door to our consciousness is closed, how are we going to be able to know that what lies behind that door is the infinite abundance of God? It is just waiting for us to decide. and waiting for us to open ourselves to all that God has to offer. I don't know about you, but I want to fill my Thanksgiving table with all the good that God has to offer. I want to fill my heart with all the abundance God has for me. We often focus on the physical aspects of our harvest, but I also want to look into and focus on our spiritual harvest, to acknowledge what we harvested in our spiritual garden and how we've grown in consciousness during the year. What did we learn? How have the spiritual seeds we planted grown? And are we reaping what we desire? Have we fed our spirit? And are we progressing towards the summit of self and God realization? Our spiritual path is not only about our growth, but it's also how we have impacted and how we have treated others. The other equation of Thanksgiving is giving. For as we give, so shall we receive. The more we give, the more we receive. And just as with gratitude, when we give, we are living in the divine flow. And the divine flow of God is unlimited. For when we give, we receive. And we attract even greater abundance. The key to giving is to give freely and to give willingly. Giving with no strings attached and expecting nothing in return. We often think of giving as monetarily, but when we give, what are we really giving of? We are giving of ourselves, giving of our time and energy. For as God has freely given to us, let us freely give in return, helping a neighbor in need, listening to someone who needs to know that we care for them, helping them through the rough times in life. Volunteering at a hospital, a church, or a charity. There are so many ways that we give of ourselves. In a quote by E.P. Andrus, the human contribution is the essential ingredient. It is only of the giving of oneself to others that we truly give. We are presented with many opportunities for giving, and it's up to us how we choose to give of ourselves. And in so doing, we are not only helping another, but we are living in the divine flow of abundance. Scripture goes on to say, "For he shall remember no more the days of his life, because God will keep him busy with the joy of his heart." At the completion of this cycle of planting, growing, and harvesting, all that remains is for us to enjoy our abundance. It is not about the measure of our accomplishments. It is about acknowledging and enjoying them God intended for us to count our blessings and to be happy with our accomplishments and to live in joy. That's all that remains. It is so important to take a breath and pause, to get off the merry-go-round of life, and to take a few moments to enjoy the fruits of our labors, to live in the joy of all of the abundance we have created. We give thanks during this holiday of thanks and giving. We are so blessed. We give thanks for the abundance we manifested in our physical and spiritual lives. We acknowledge God as the source of all good that we have and all that we need. We open ourselves to the flow of abundance so it may continue to flow to us, through us, and from us. And we give thanks for the simple things of life. A beautiful sunset, a laughing child, a warm touch, a friendly smile, and all the love that surrounds us. To every man also the Lord has given riches and wealth, and he has given power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor. For this is the gift of God. God will keep him busy with the joy of his heart. Many blessings to you and to your families during this holiday of thanks and giving. Namaste.